That kind of disappointment can happen to anyone. One day you receive a beautiful bouquet of roses full of life and promise. The very next day they're drooping, petals soft, heads bowed, or maybe you bought the roses yourself and forgot to place them in water right away, only to discover them later completely dehydrated. So what should you do in this situation? You could get upset, you could call the florist and complain, you could leave a bad review, demand a replacement, or dig through your receipts and return the roses for a refund. All of that is possible. But before you do any of that, I invite you to try something else, this almost magical revival method, and watch for yourself how nature responds when given the right conditions. First, an important note. Dehydration in plant cells occurs in two stages, reversible and irreversible. After a certain point of severe cellular dehydration, recovery is no longer possible. But that point is often much further than we think, and it is almost always worth trying. For this experiment, I am splitting my roses into two groups. For 50 stems, I will use commercially prepared floral food. For 2 additional bunches, 50 stems total, I will use simple household items, sugar and laundry bleach. These are things most people already have at home, especially if floral food packets are not available. To understand why this works, we need to understand every step of the process. Step 1, water temperature. Prepare a good-sized container, such as a medium bucket or a large vase. I am using a 1.5-gallon vase filled with very warm tap water. Ideally, the temperature should be similar to a hot tub, about 100 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 to 40 degrees Celsius. My water measures 43 degrees Celsius, which is slightly higher, but by the time I finish working with the roses, it will cool down naturally. A simple rule: if the water is not too hot for your hand, it is safe to use. Why hot water? Because temperature acts as a catalyst for chemical reactions. Warm water helps open the vascular system of dehydrated rose stems, allowing water to move upward quickly and reach every cell of the flower. Step 2, nourishment and protection. Now we add floral food. For this volume, I will use 2 to 3 sachets of 10 grams each. What's actually inside commercial floral food? Surprisingly simple ingredients: powdered sugar and citric acid. Sugar provides energy, fuel for the cells to survive and recover. Citric acid lowers the pH of the water, slowing bacterial and fungal growth. This is crucial because bacteria and fungi thrive in sugary environments and compete with the plant for resources. That's why, if you don't have floral food, sugar and a tiny amount of bleach can produce very similar and sometimes even better results. This is exactly what we are comparing in this experiment. Step 3, stem surgery. This step is absolutely critical. Remove a couple of inches from each stem, then make a sharp angled cut, opening another 2 inches. Think of the rose stem as a pump. Its vascular system continuously pushes water and nutrients upward to the leaves and flower head. When the plant is dehydrated, air gets pulled into the system, creating air pockets that block water movement. Severely dehydrated roses can be full of these air bubbles. Even if you do everything right in steps 1 and 2, skipping this step will almost guarantee failure. Step 4, stop moisture loss. To revive roses quickly, we must reduce evaporation. Leaves and petals contain tiny pores called stomata. These pores allow plants to exchange gases, carbon dioxide enters, while oxygen and water vapor exit. When a rose is dehydrated, losing more moisture is the last thing we want. So we increase humidity and lower the surrounding temperature. At home, I spray the roses generously with water and place the vases in a cooler environment. Ideally, this would be a refrigerator, but if that's not available, a cool basement, garage, or garden shed will work. For extreme dehydration, roses can even be covered with a large cellophane bag to trap humidity. In my case, because I am filming a time-lapse, I leave them uncovered. This is the key idea to remember. Warm water at the bottom opens the stems, while cool air at the top slows evaporation. Heat below, cold above. This contrast drives fast and efficient rehydration. Now look at these 100 roses. In just 4.5 hours, they have nearly returned to their natural firmness. I leave them overnight so the petals and leaves can fully regain their turgor. The next morning, they look even better, alive, strong, and ready. At this point, you can simply enjoy them in a vase or bunch them up for future floral projects. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this experiment, please like and subscribe, and never give up on your roses too soon.